You could sit and eat here. There's nothing to buy anymore, though. A piece of thin board. Ah, it's a menu. They probably don't need it anymore. The sorry remains of a sorry annual fair. I don't think there's anything useful here. Just a pile of junk. No idea what the river's called. A letterbox. Nothing special. A barrel. It says Willow Creek Corner Shop on it. What's her problem? It's the news on a news channel. I assume it's gonna be like that all day. Maybe they show documentaries about heavy trucks or aircraft carriers in between the bulletins. But I'm not interested. My mom always used to say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, one of my moms. A hint of France in Willow Creek. Yeah, that's how I like vegetables. Microwave ready on top of a steak. Ice cream. My favorite flavors. And a good size, too. Wow, a huge fridge. It's the Eco Freezer 100. At least that's what's written on
it. I hope you only want to cut up veggies with that. Sir?
A shopping basket. I don't need it. I'm only having a look around. Various smoking products. Tobacco, cigars, stuff for pipes. The inhabitants of Willow Creek seem to really enjoy smoking. Walking maps of the area. Indispensable for a suspected murderer out on bail, like myself. The shopkeeper's looking at me like I'm a thief. Or worse. That must be the shopkeeper with a whistle hung around her neck. She looks a bit nervous. I wonder if that's because of me. Hello.
What do you want?
This is a shop, isn't it? Then maybe I want to buy something?
Okay.
I'm Darren, by the way.
I know exactly who you are.
Oh, really? Who am I, then?
You're the arsonist who was in the newspaper.
I'm not gonna set your shop on fire. Anyway, I'm innocent.
Oh, I'm sure you are. But please, don't stay too long. Otherwise, I will have to call the police.
Yeah, right.
And without a telephone, I'll just use my whistle.
What is this? Willow Creek's main shopping drag?
Oh, we've got everything that people need here. Usually, you can order too, but then it'll be delivered next week, if that's okay with you.
That won't be necessary. I'm just having a look around. The old woman who just ran out. Could it be that she's a little crazy?
Dorothy? Oh no, she's just as crazy as you are. I mean, she's fine. The whistle was her idea.
Are you scared of me?
Of course not. I've got my whistle. As soon as anyone comes too close, I blow it. And it's so loud, even the gravedigger in Wormhill can hear it.
Clever, Abaya.
How do you know my name?
You've got that little badge on?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, your name's quite uncommon, Abaya. Where does it come from?
It's Indian. Don't you like it?
Oh, I do. It sounds very pretty. Does it mean anything?
The fearless one.
I'd like to buy one of these walking maps.
Please take it. You don't need to come to the till. It's on the house.
Oh. Thank you very much. See ya.
I hope not.
Flower vase or coffee cup? Probably both. This is the best seat in the house, with a view of the village square. Unbelievably thrilling. You can watch the moss growing between the paving stones. They look really pathetic, but still better than cheap plastic ones. The sugar's empty. Coffee in all its guises, from mocha to Irish coffee. The list of teas is still twice as long, though. Coffee culture is spreading. Mild beans and double roasted. Is Willow Creek ready for this? Shame. No donuts left. Photos of parties here in the cafe. I really didn't think they celebrated anything here in Willow Creek. Kinda weird. Lots of the people in the photos have been murdered. At last, a ray of sunshine. I was beginning to think there were only gross-looking guys with alcohol problems living in this dump. Hi,
I know. I recognize you from the newspaper.
And you're not gonna run away screaming?
I'd have a lot of running to do if I ran away from every weirdo in this dump.
You really like living here, huh? Has anything exciting happened recently?
Apart from the fire at the castle? Wait a minute. Yeah, the espresso machine broke down.
Has this cafe been here long? I've never noticed it before.
We were closed during the fair this year.
Is it even worth having a cafe here in the village?
You'll have to ask my dad. It's his cafe. Why do you ask? Do you want to open one too?
Yeah, sure. Right next door. A Blackmere special cafe with ritual blood cappuccino and latte morbidato.
Good idea. Could have come from Murray.
By the way, I'm Darren. Or Adrian Gordon. Take your pick.
I'm Denise, or the one who's got no time for insane arsonists. Take your pick.
Wow. I think I prefer Denise.
All right then, Darren.
So, what's a young woman like you doing in a place like this? Not one for city living?
Hell yeah. I'm just waiting for the right moment.
You mean when the twice-yearly bus to London stops here?
Something like that.
Are you out of donuts?
No, there are some in the storeroom, but they're reserved for the nice inspector. He buys them here every morning.
Of course. And what if I want one too?
Then bake one yourself.
When does the inspector usually come in?
He should have been here to pick up his donuts ages ago. He's probably been delayed by the scum of the earth. Again.
Nice description.
That's what Conrad calls his clientele, not me.
Conrad?
Conrad Spooner? That's what the inspector's called. Didn't you know?
I didn't know that donuts was so popular in England.
I don't know, but I do know that Spooner loves them. Just as much as those cops in American TV shows.
And what does the dear inspector do when there aren't any donuts left?
He always gets what he wants. If need be, I bake him some.
I'd like a coffee, black.
Coming up.
I think the door leads into the storeroom. At least that's what the sign suggests. Okay, I've got to come up with something that's gonna make Spooner hang out here in the cafe for a while. A shelf full of stock for the cafe. What have we got here? Coffee, tea, juice, milk. Ah, and a package of donuts. Those have to be the donuts specially reserved for Spooner. A wash bucket filled with, dirty water. A high-performance chest freezer with a glass lid. Not a lot in it. A pack of tart bases. Oh, and a box of ice cream. Mint and chocolate. The seal is in really bad shape. If it gets wet, you probably wouldn't be able to get the chest open anymore. It's cold enough in here. I'll close the thing again. I can't just march out of the storeroom with a pack of donuts. I'm only just out on bail. I don't want to end up straight back in the can for shoplifting. I'll put the donuts back. I'll have time to sit there when I'm old. The windows have colored plastic stuck on them. It's hard to make out anything. Is that Tom's underwear hanging out to dry? No, cloths. They aren't particularly clean, but I wouldn't expect anything else from Tom's pub, you know? I'm glad I drank bottled beer last time I was there. Anyone want to buy an E? That's Tom's pub. I think he's still a bit angry because I left him in the swamp. And stole his car. It looks like it hasn't been used for a very long time. I'm about to change that. It says 3 kegs. Probably of beer. You can hardly make out what used to be written there, but I assume that nothing edible has ever been served here, at least since Tom inherited the pub. Murderous greetings from Willow Creek, the usual postcards and brochures. Hello?
Hmm?
I'll have another coffee, please.
Sure.
The sponge is dripping now. I don't want to be carrying it around with me for too long. It would get rather unpleasant. Now it's open again. I'll wet the ceiling rubbers with the wet sponge. If you close the freezer now, the water will freeze and it'll be almost impossible to open it again without defrosting the whole thing. If I close the freezer now, I'll probably never be able to open it again. I'd rather leave it. I'll put the pack back. I'll put the box of donuts in a nice visible spot in the freezer. Farewell, you donuts. Nobody's gonna be getting you out of there in a hurry. Now that ought to slow down the inspector's donut order somewhat.
Another one of these flat days today. I could really do with something to lift me up a little.
Edward could come along at any time. Better if we wait till this evening.
It's not Edward. Give me a couple of donuts at least.
Yeah, sure. I'll get you some. Conrad, your donuts seem to have ended up in the freezer.
Yeah? Then can't you bung them in the oven for a bit?
The problem is, the lid's frozen solid.
Ah, I get it. You want me to help you warm up your frozen chest?
I think those two are gonna be busy for a while. Constable Zach seems okay. Plays by the letter of the law and all that. Can I ask you something briefly?
Hmm?
Do you believe I set fire to the castle?
Well, Mr. Michaels, you claim to be Samuel Gordon's son, and you were at the scene of the crime with a smoldering torch in your hand.
I had that to defend myself with.
Against the mysterious secret order that nobody knows about and nobody's seen?
It's mentioned in the Gordon Chronicles.
500 years ago.
Forget it.
And then there was the thing with poor Miss Valley, right? Who found your tracks at the scene of the crime.
I told you, forget it. Spooner, your inspector, is he always so nice?
I don't know. He was in the homicide department in London until half a year ago. Then, he got redeployed here as a punishment.
That explains a lot.
Since then, he's tried everything to get back out of here. He locks people up for the smallest of misdemeanors. Good for the statistics, you see.
And you can't do anything about it?
What does a bear do about the winter? He rolls himself up and sleeps until the spring comes.
Can you make a copy of my file and send it to my lawyer?
Didn't he get one ages ago?
He, wants to have the current version for the embassy.
Not possible.
Something wrong?
I'd forgotten. The copier gave up the ghost a few weeks back, but there's a new one on order.
Are you being serious?
It's not so bad. I have so little to do here, I could type up most of the documents.
I understand. So, would you be so kind as to type my file?
No.
And what if I fix that thing?
All right then, you go and see what you can do with it.
How long are you gonna look for Angelina?
She'll be deemed missing until we find her.
Even if she's long since dead?
We haven't found a body yet, Mr. Michaels.
How involved were you in the investigation of my case?
I searched the sewer system and the bunker.
And you didn't find any clues?
No.
That just can't be true.
It's bloody dark down there, Mr. Michaels, and full of rats. Not for the faint-hearted.
Is there anything new on the kidnapping? Have you spoken to Tom, Bobby, or the kid in Wales?
According to the statement, Tom was at Alton Towers with Bobby at the time.
And you don't find it a little bit strange that those two went to a theme park?
The only strange thing was that Bobby was in hospital for 2 days afterwards with concussion. But we've got a medical certificate that proves that.
And what if Tom was lying?
We can't prove it. He had 2 tickets for the theme park and the paperwork from the hospital.
Damn. And the boy?
There's no one called Van Helsing in Wales.
Goodbye, Constable.